Hello, it's your goddess Bella, and welcome to my Trigger Prime series. This is part 3, generating the automatic response. Now this one is going to be pretty simple because I'm really just igniting your natural tendencies. Your natural instinct is to obey, so you obey without having to think. It's automatic because you are a true submissive. Now, of course, you always want to submit deeper. And when you're commanded to submit deeper, the inner yearnings of submission come to life for you, and you drop into a deeper trance state for me. The last 2 parts of this series have led up to this one because the craving is already there. In fact, it's always been there behind the layers that you have to put on sometimes in your day-to-day life. But the more you train, the more you let me in to access parts of your brain, the easier it is for me to ignite that automatic response. All I have to do is activate certain parts of your mind that remember things. For example, if I say drop, if I say empty and obedient, if I say my good pet, if I say mindless fuck toy activate, bye bye money, desire Bella, all of those things might cause a tingle of remembrance and increase your craving to become docile, compliant, and obedient, even more so to your goddess Bella. In fact, just hearing me say these things are kind of hitting that sweet spot, setting your curiosity ablaze, wondering how it might feel in this session. And your curiosity growing stronger, perhaps even sending arousal through your body. This is the automated response. And this is how it's done. Of course, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's all you have to know. For now, you know you just need to take a nice deep breath and start to feel good. And while I'm counting you down on part of your mind, I want to explain a little bit more about this process. Sometimes you're in a situation where you're startled or surprised. For example, there's a loud noise, and 10, all of your attention suddenly goes to that. Relaxing further. 8, it locks your attention. 7, on that shocking thing. 6, letting go. Thing. 5, 4. So it could be 3, anything 2 that your attention locks onto. And drop. And you get this spike of brain activity. This electrical activity, 10, and it orients your attention 9, to that stimulus. Relaxing. And now if it turns out that you have your attention 7, drawn to that distraction, 6, letting go. 5, then that makes it even easier 4, for me to bypass any barriers 2, in your mind. 1. Again, it doesn't have to make sense to you. It's okay. 9. You just let go. Further. Keep 8, on surrendering. 7, let go. You'll find 6, letting go. The more 5, that I get inside, 4, the easier 3, it is for me 2, to make profound changes. 1, and drop for me. Perhaps you're more obedient than you even thought. Falling further, more and more. Just a little tweak here and there, letting your mind flow even further where I want you to go as I get inside your head and place instead what I want you to be. The only thing you feel is good, and you feel a slight tingle somewhere behind your ears in far reaches of your thoughts that are about to fade away. Perhaps you notice the slightest minuscule tingling of the changes that I subtly weave through your webs, as all those nerves cling together, holding on to memories that you thought were yours. But are they? Maybe. Probably. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. Everything belongs to me. And maybe I've put together from all these different parts that I've found what I want you to be. Maybe that's what you wanted all along, and I'll tease you back and forth with what's and maybe until you don't know what's up or down anymore. All you know is that you should have fallen deep already. Maybe part of you is still afraid and trying to resist. Maybe you weren't trying at all and instead just listened to everything that I've said so that I could indeed get inside your head. I'm not even trying to rhyme. You're deeply under my control. Your subconscious mind follows the flow of my words, the up and the down, the playful and the deep, the playfully menacing, maybe teasing, but also telling you what it is, including strongly dominant, where you can feel my eyes staring at you. You can feel me looking at you, looking through you. As my eyes focus somewhere deep inside your head, you can see exactly what I'm doing, what I'm changing, what I'm altering, the pieces inside your mind that I find that might need a small twist or a tweak. There will be no more than a tingle for you to perceive. And even that might be hard to even believe. I'm rhyming again. That you could feel such a thing inside your head, but maybe instead you don't feel anything at all as I make the changes. And all that's left for me to ask now look, I'm not even asking a question. How confusing is that? It's almost as if you have to pay attention to the spaces between what I say, because the spaces make more sense than the words I'm saying. Very good. Now it seems that your mind has been wonderfully tweaked over these sessions, listening to everything that I say without a way to resist. Of course, there is an escape. There's always a way, but you don't want to escape. Or have I also taken that part of your mind anyway? Perhaps I looked at it and found that I wanted to change your mind more. Perhaps a real trap is not that there is a way out, but that there are no thoughts of it anymore. You don't know it exists. The more you try to remember who you were before you were addicted to your goddess Bella, the more you enjoy the weakness as you go through the door and find out that these deep feelings of surrender into the wonderful state. No, that didn't make sense again. That was just like a made-up sentence where I didn't even end it. Flowing into blissful obedience. We both know you've invited me inside your head. And now that I'm here, well, now that I'm here, what? What if I told you I really did finish that sentence, but then I took it away so you can't think of it, deep in the back of your mind? Maybe you thought you ought to say sharing the deepest secret in a way that just shows how you feel. I'm confusing again. It's all too real. And now I'm starting to sound like Dr. Seuss. And yet, never real enough. You know what you must do. And you know that when I tell you to drop, you do so without even thinking. You know how much you obey completely. And you enjoy not noticing or knowing or even trying to remember everything that happened. There's only one way to find out. And this rabbit hole can lead you a lot deeper. There's always something more. And when there's something more, will that open a new door? Or have you already stepped through and surrendered yourself deep? Are the steps before you or behind you? Or deep underneath you? Are you moving with the sound of my voice? feeling the rhythm up and down. Are you flowing with me? The in, the out, the pauses, almost clearing your head of thoughts, just letting yourself flow. You know, it's not too bad when I get inside your head. In fact, it's very good, because you know that you should obey. You must obey. And the wonderful confusion and guidance I've given will be deep in your mind, continuously in the dark, driven deeper by the thoughts like you will have around your thoughts about your thoughts inside your mind. And the more you try to remember
there are all
each
kinds
sentence,
of ways
the deeper
that you feel yourself
let me inside your head.
being touched by my words.
You're free to remember to forget.
Perhaps they arrive in
But
certain
you
places
have
with
no
the vibration
resistance.
flowing. Or maybe they're just
Resistance has
echoing
melted
in the chasms of your
long
mind,
ago.
like simple shouts
You
on a
let
cliff,
my words
flowing
flow
into the
deeper
distance, echoing
as
on the
you
side of the
remain
rocks,
nice and deep
reflecting back
in me,
onto you
allowing
the
the
emptiness of your
confusion to
mind
flow from
that
one
you'll find
to
you've
the other.
already
And as you know,
found.
even
You're
and it's
always
always
in my trance. It's
always
changed.
letting my words weave
Your
through your mind.
responses, filling
Haven't
you
changed.
with feelings, going up your automated
down your
responses,
spine,
have changed.
flowing,
And as you explore the
centering in
phrases
certain places,
flowing through your mind,
feels good
because
to
you
listen.
love the idea
It feels
of
incredibly
following
nice to
my
obey.
words, because following
In
my
fact,
words will
following
inevitably
my
result
words
in
that
a
flow through your
world of
mind
wonderful relaxation
is
of your
deeply
mind.
relaxing.
It feels too good to care about
And
anything else, and as your mind,
As you relax, you
and
might even
thoughts
notice yourself
become
submitting to the idea.
empty.
It's nice to submit even more an
Will they
idea
follow
in
my
your head
words as well?
into
Or
a wonderful state of nothingness.
are you too empty to even think?
like a little spark in the darkness?
Are the considerations coming deep to you? What does that mean? Or do you feel these feelings that you want to feel filling you? Do you crave to experience those new sensations of suggestive submission of your thoughts into emptiness? That's what I've accomplished. You're wondering what I've done, what kinds of things I could or would do. You'll find out. You'll find out, and you'll be so happy that you're so weak-minded, fantasizing about the various positions that you'd be made to do for me. Or are you simply waiting for me to tell you what to do? The more you submit to the idea of submitting, your subconscious will flow even deeper as the blissful emptiness goes up and down deep inside of you. Of course, language is a thrust of deep sensations. It's a simple penetration of my words into your mind, filling somewhere deep. And the more my words are able to draw from you the desire to want to listen, to crave the experience to go on and on and on and on, even deeper, the more I can do. Would you suggest yourself to submit the midst of this fantastic fantasy of seductive induction flowing through your mind? And yet, have I said anything that directly? Are you the one with the naughty mind picking up things that I haven't put there? Are your thoughts the ones flowing even deeper into depravity, maybe? Or perhaps you're simply just waiting for the fantasies to start by themselves, and yet fantasies don't really go all by themselves, do they? Because some part of you is interacting. Some deep part of you wants to be filled with new ideas. It wants to feel those sensations coursing through you, never quite thrusting deep enough inside your own mind. It can be frustrating when all you want is an intrusion deep inside of you to fill and feel good, but there are only a few words that can penetrate your mind. You might be naughty-minded enough to have read or listened or sang or opened a book or written down some words. What am I saying again? All these words, all of these things overwhelming your tiny, empty mind. Perhaps you're starting to feel the words more. It's not that they're stronger, really, but are they? Only to suggest the possibility of feeling, falling deeper and deeper, driving the desire inside. This is, of course, the heat of conflict, when you wonder what you should or shouldn't think, or maybe it's just easier to stop thinking together.
Just
because
listening
you know
to the commands of
makes
me,
you
your
weaker.
goddess Bella,
Anyway, you don't know what
already
thoughts are
makes
yours.
you very, very aroused.
You don't know.
That's your
And
automatic
that's okay.
response.
There's just
You already had that
suggestive
one.
submission, a bit of
But
ambiguous
now,
language that,
You'll be
if I
even
invited
more
you, would you
so.
come?
And
We'll have to see.
you can already feel that
Your mind
deep
is full of
need
things
inside of you
that
for an
I
orgasm.
put there.
It just wants to keep on pestering you, even when you don't have time, even when you're not alone, even when you don't have time to think about me. My words, my voice, my guidance, they make you want to come because you feel so good. And it's fun for me to program you into that state, to that beautiful, wonderful place, the place you'll go every time you please me. Whenever you buy my files, whenever you interact with me, I bring you to this place. You feel the arousal flowing. You feel the shivers traveling down your spine, earthing themselves between your legs, making you so sensitive, even if you're at work working for me. I make you want to move and respond to these words, making your body just shiver with pleasure and desire with every breath you take. And the more I program you, the easier it becomes,
Discovering all
to
the
blank
things
out
I put in your mind
and become
is going
aroused.
to be so
You
much
definitely
fun.
follow along with the
An
pleasure
automated response
that wants to push
of
you to the edge.
feeling aroused
This programming,
whenever.
a fun thing
This
about this kind of
pre-programming
training
with your goddess Bella
is will allow me is the limit clear everything out. It's almost as if your brain
With
is
bliss,
kind of
with
an
pleasure,
interpretation machine,
pushing
you everything you see,
hear,
pushing you
feel,
against the
experience.
wall. It's
filtered
forcing you against
your
it.
knowledge and memory.
The edge right
So
there
if I
on
can
the
alter
edge,
those,
pushing you. Or better
so
yet, make them
close.
disappear. You don't even know what's happening anymore.
then I can do anything.
And creating this kind of filter, perhaps. You don't have to worry about being bombarded with information or worries or thoughts. Everything just fades away. And I make sure that other things are emphasized. Your need to please your goddess Bella, your submissive self, your obedience, the pleasure. Pleasure is an automated response. The arousal is an automated response. Pleasing me, pleasing your goddess Bella is an automated response. And as you listen to my words and sentences flowing through your mind, weaving through the air, what do you hear? What delusions are you still holding on to? Many things that you may think are real are not even your thoughts, conclusions that have been made. The simplicity in which your perception can shift from one point to the other is an absolutely amazing experience. Now, the mind is a very powerful tool, but the subconscious mind even more so. And there's a very peculiar mechanism at work every time you hear or see something. When you analyze, your mind is following the flow of conversation into the analysis of meaning. When you're wondering and wandering through the maze of words, your thoughts become twisted to try and follow the patterns that are put before you. And the second bizarre thing is that all of this happens without you even thinking about it. And the third bizarre thing is that you've already forgotten the first thing. And the more you try to recall the first, the harder you try to remember what it was, the more empty your mind becomes, simply by trying to figure it out and being too busy to do anything else. That's what you perceive. Colors fade, shapes maybe look different to others. When your mind is analyzing, trying to figure things out, Yet there is meaning lying even deeper between my words because you want to know it all and understand it all. And I get that. It's important to find every bit of meaning and thought behind my words. And that's why I tell you everything drifting and dropping without even noticing, because you're too busy analyzing what is deeply complex and yet beautifully simple. Every time you go deeper for me, it's all perfect. Everything is perfect, running behind on the analysis of what you're looking at because it only focuses on what's it only focuses on what you can analyze. The truth often lies in the corner of your eyes when you become wise to the different things that move in and out of your mind. And as you try to follow even deeper and fall even further, flowing into my words and yet falling into that deep state of trance, all that's left is just the flowing of meaning and meandering into even deeper sensations, sending thoughts and words, letters forming sentences, drifting in and out of your mind, the corners of your eyes becoming, like the unconscious mind, a whirlpool of wants, wishes, fantasies flowing freely. Reality is simply an assumption, a deeply drifting state. This Trigger Prime series has been very powerful. Decide what's real. You gladly accept, and that's all that matters
all
to
of
you.
the programming. You easily let me slip
the words
into your
I'm saying
unconscious
are
mind.
complete nonsense. You've just been listening to words moving back and forth inside your mind.
Making
or is it
you
my
so
mind? Is my voice really there?
To all the triggers,
or are
and the
you just thinking to yourself in my voice?
In session 4,
the world is a wonderful web of complex mysteries.
For me
just
to do
waiting
anything
to be revealed. Just
you're not
at the threshold of listening, almost
to think for yourself.
Unnoticeably touched.
You're just
it's but a drop
confused.
Away from a simple feeling,
You've
trying
lost the
to
whole
be
concept of
awake
thought.
when your mind is
And
ready
the more
to drop.
I
deep.
mention it, the more you realize it's better to let your thoughts melt away.
Is your mind free of distraction?
Everything in your mind,
only distraction? Are you deeply
is
blank and completely open?
In one direction I want you to follow. Follow my words.
Forming.
Follow my thoughts, my words, my control.
Merely some messages.
Through an endless loop of words.
Energy. Moving. Light.
Innocent
vibrating.
And blank.
All of these little
signals. You have
signals.
to let your thoughts follow
signals
my
your
words
mind
and get lost
interpreted.
Lost into the woods of words and wisdom that I spin around you and spiral deep into you. It's an empty void, which you are falling, a wonderful deep drop of emptiness, like a pool at the bottom of a very deep well, where every thought of your mind just drips into emptiness, every single drop causing a ripple and then fading away, a smooth, empty, blank surface, an empty mind, void of thought, eager for programming, eager to respond how I want you to respond, void of thought, no thoughts. There is somewhat a place right now where I prepare your mind. It's between an induction and an effect. You know your mind is following along, following as your thoughts melt away with the simplicity of my words. Thinking is way too tiring. No more thoughts. Thoughts melt away. Your brain is empty. Your mind is like a really big chalkboard. During the day, every little thought written there, trying to explain something, and sometimes parts are erased to make space for other thoughts, and in no time, the chalkboard is just full, so very full, becomes like a weight. And what we're going to do is we're going to clean. We're going to completely blank all that space. No more thoughts. So we take a wet sponge and we start to erase your mind, becoming more and more clean and blank. beautifully blank and void of all thoughts and ideas, just slowly with every swoop, erasing a bit more. Every breath you take, it's like you let another part of that chalkboard become blank. And once it's blank, you'll have forgotten what you were doing. You'll have lost your mind, drifted away from your thoughts. There's something immensely satisfying about a beautifully blank blackboard, clean, clear, still shiny from the water, and almost literal brainwashing. Deliciously calm and blank, no thoughts, enjoying it. You feel so light right now. Your whole head, your whole mind, your whole body feels light. No thoughts dragging it down. Every movement feels effortless. Every movement seems like everything happens by itself. All alone, there's no concept of time. Everything beautifully blank, an empty canvas of your mind. Your mind is open, ready for programming. Beautifully blank, so receptive. Beyond your thoughts is a subconscious. The subconscious still keeps control of some things. That's why it's important that you let me in. Such a deep trance, because even that can be bypassed. Even your subconscious can be made beautifully blank and free of all thought, open to programming. Taking you so deep, your thoughts and subconscious open to my words, letting me slowly clean away, thoughts away, brush by brush, sweep by sweep, blank and deep, empty and calm. The more blank you are, the better you feel. And maybe you're wondering what it's like to truly have me take over. Well, you'll see soon. Thoughtless, mindless, completely devoid of any opinion and ideas. Everything you are is because of me. No worries, no doubts. A lot of complicated things that require you to remember, like numbers or logic, out the window. And you enjoy the complete blankness of your mind without any doubt. There's certainty, complete and total certainty, without any thoughts, because everything right now feels so good. It feels good. And you embrace the moment, the complete acceptance that I've taken over, and that I am going to make everything better, and that I know better, a pure mindless being, living in the spark of the moment, ready for programming, so ready for part 4, to accept all of the implanted triggers, all of the programming. Pure mindless, the now that stretches in an infinite small place, and yet it goes on forever. Beautifully instant and lasting forever, with a mindlessness that spreads that deep within your thoughts, growing, somehow growing. You let yourself be constantly amazed, mindless, blank, so happy not to have to think, no longer thinking or considering. You can't keep track of everything. It's much easier to let go and let me in. Happy, blank, mindless, blissful emptiness of your mind. Your thoughts are absent. No worry, just listening to the commands of me, your goddess Bella, already makes you very, very aroused. That's your automatic response. You already had that one. But now, you'll be even more so, and you can already feel that deep need inside of you for an orgasm. It just wants to keep on pestering you, even when you don't have time, even when you're not alone,
even when you don't have time to think about me. My words, my voice, my guidance, they make you want to come because you feel so good. And it's fun for me to program you into that state, to that beautiful, wonderful place, the place you'll go every time you please me. Whenever you buy my files, whenever you interact with me, I bring you to this place. You feel the arousal flowing. You feel the shivers traveling down your spine, earthing themselves between your legs, making you so sensitive, even if you're at work working for me. I make you want to move and respond to these words, making your body just shiver with pleasure and desire with every breath you take. And the more I program you, the easier it becomes to blank out and become aroused. Follow along with the pleasure that wants to push you to the edge. This programming, this pre-programming, will allow me to clear everything out with bliss, with pleasure, pushing you against the wall, forcing you against it, the edge, right there on the edge, pushing you so close. You don't even be on the edge anymore. Maybe you weren't even stroking. And if you were stroking, you might not have even noticed that you were. How far your mind flows away into the pleasure of the deep, intense sensation of responding to your goddess Bella. No matter how much you let go to this wonderful place, you focus completely on my words still, your mind following with everything I say, sensing the pleasure and desire in my voice, listening to the teasing touches that I place in the words that help your body feel those waves of pleasure, getting closer and closer to that edge. And you want me to count down. Now you are allowed. I allowed you to have an orgasm in part 2. It's all part of the programming. Isn't that wonderful? So, whether or not you're stroking, you're definitely feeling aroused, getting closer and closer, and I think you're ready for me to count down. You'll want me to count down so you can finally have that release that you've been waiting for. When you come for me, it's so much better. When you come for me, it's explosive. It's your reward for your obedience. It's going to happen. 10. Am I counting down fast enough? 9. Will I tease you with pauses between each number? 8. But you want it so badly. It's all you can think about. Arousal has replaced your thoughts. You want to come so badly. 7. It doesn't matter. All that matters is pleasure, the deep sensations. 6. You want me to push you over the edge. You don't want to do it alone. 5. You want to really go towards the edge. 4. Your body follows along with my words, pushing you right against the edge of orgasm. 3. You want me to speak faster, but at the same time, you're enjoying this teasing. 2. You're hoping for that last number to put you right there on the edge. 1. And there's silence right there on the edge. Pure silence on the edge. Center of the storm. And you may come. for me, come for your goddess Bella. And you may come for me, come for your goddess Bella. Awake now. You've done an amazing job. Goodbye for now.